I am a retailer and this is obviously my core DNA and my identity, but I really want to explore the opportunities that lie into becoming a media powerhouse.
But really, incrementality, the true, like, am I better off spending in one RMN versus the other? How do I know as an advertiser?
And where is the unlock between offline and online influence and the omnichannel share? Is there any holy grail on the horizon yet?
E-category management will be the key for 2025.
Back then it was still a baby.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. 6-month-old. So we started as a team with 4 persons with one solution, sponsored product ads in one market, Germany.
Okay.
And since then, it has been a very exciting journey. Yes, doing this growth trajectory. Obviously in terms of business KPIs, but obviously also in terms of scaling our marketing solutions into full funnel digital offering, scaling into 9 markets that we're in right now. And also with the team, which hopefully will hit about 50 persons next year. But in a way, the marketing media mix and who is your audience even is quite clear. Whereas here, it was really a startup, right? And so for me, the cornerstone number 1 is really startup mentality, which comes with a lot of tests and learn, with a lot of fail fast and learn even faster, because obviously we didn't know everything. There was no playbook number 1, how do I scale in different markets? Playbook number 2, what is the right solution and what brings me most in 5 years?
You're writing playbook as you go.
Exactly. The other cornerstone for success, which comes with that, is really C-level backing as well. Because retail media is a decision that you need to take as a corporate company to say, I am a retailer and this is obviously my core DNA and my identity, but I really want to explore the opportunities that lie into becoming a media powerhouse. And that was a path, and that is still a path. I mean, we have full sponsorship from the board. We also work a lot with our C-level in the different markets, but trickling that down to the organization to really educate what is retail media about and why is it a chance and opportunity for us as a retailer and how can it integrate and migrate on the backbone of a retail company is an ongoing journey. What kind of data do we have? Because I think at the end, the quality and the quantity of the data makes the difference.
The whole difference, yeah.
I mean, overall, Douglas is the number 1 omnichannel beauty destination in Europe. Nice. So we are in 22 markets. We have omnichannel operations in 22 markets. We have a CRM program called 𝗷𝗍𝗄𝗏, which has 57 million members.
57 million.
57,
okay,
so
that's
really,
a big number.
I think I would say it's the biggest in Europe when it comes to beauty. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of big and we continuously grow. So it really grows massively. And our biggest recruitment weapon for the 𝗷𝗍𝗏 is the store, right?
Yes.
So the store employees would ask every time the cash dies, do you want to have the 𝗷𝗍𝗏? And it comes with massive rewards.
And how does it provide competitive advantage? Because I heard some of these from our podcast episode with Glenn Clark at L'Oreal. He mentioned some of the advantages they're benefiting from the relationship with Douglas and other retailers. And he also mentioned some of this, but I'd like to hear it from you because you're the architect in some of those features, I think, even with the build-up side before they offer to the brands.
Yeah, I mean, based on all the data points that I just mentioned, basically, I would dare to say that there is no better provider of beauty data in Europe, right? And if you look into our CDP, we have more than 900 audiences that sit in the CDP, yeah? And we don't talk about the custom built one that we could pull together. So this is the massive asset, actually, if a brand wants to enter a new category, for example. The third factor, which was an external one, but still is important in that whole retail media discussion, is the move into a cookieless world.
Right.
So the cookie is dying or is partly being dead.
Gradually.
And even if we all know that Google made last year a little bit of a U-turn in their communication or in their strategy, but we also all know that whether it's completely dead or whether it's an informed choice, that customers will be given. We know that we turn away from cookies. It's not the future technology anymore. And as brands have, from my point of view, even the big ones, they make big attempts, I would say, starting around 2010 to really build their own CRM database based on the big ambitions that they had also in D2C. Some of them excel to a certain point, but let's be really honest, the majority of sellout is still in retail and not in D2C, at least in Europe. Yeah? And therefore the opportunity, I mean, brands should never stop building data on their own. I think it's utterly important. And those who did that really well have a big advantage right now, the big CPGs. Nonetheless, for smaller ones, I think they must really make a good choice in that trade-off between do I invest or take in first-party data from a retailer, which is already at scale for me available, or do I do a lot of efforts and invest into building my own? And I think for mid and long tail brands, it's a clear choice from my point of view. In those markets, it's still a lot of education. And now that we launched self-service and we are in the soft launch phase, and we explicitly said we first go out to the mid and long tail of the brands who never so far had the opportunity to book retail media with us, right? So it's really smaller brands. And when we hop on a call with them to explain the platform, give them a demo, we really start with a basic question: what retail media is, what is a sponsored product ad, and how can I use it? So even there in Germany, it depends on are you at L'Oreal or work at Coty, at Shiseido, at the big beauty brands. There, the level of education is super high. They really understood how important retail media is. They are transforming their organization. They are really hiring and building up specific and dedicated retail media teams. Whereas a big part of the mid and long tail beauty brands, they are not there yet. So it depends on the size and scale of the beauty brand, and it depends on the general maturity of the market and let's say the digital ad spend per capita and the maturity and media mix that is overall seen in the market. For us, I think it's extremely interesting from an, first of all, omnichannel perspective, because we do want and we do need a tool that we have in store to really also measure what does media bring to the sellout in the store. So for the first time, ROPO measurement would be really possible at scale. That's really interesting. And I also do believe that for brands, in-store screens is really a great and amazing opportunity to do brand storytelling, right? And last but not least, for us, the whole data collaboration, so I would say offsite 2.0, if we want to frame it like that, is very important. So we will make different steps. And the first step that we made is we looked into the IAB, we talked to our IAB data and IAB surveys and talked to our clients and agencies. And the first thing that I always said is, well, this first-party data is kind of great, but I want to get my hands on it myself. I don't want to just give you a call and you tell me that audience XYZ sits in the CDP and you push it to Facebook or Pinterest or whatever. I want to access it myself and choose myself which audience I want for a specific case. And I also want to choose where, on which inventory I push it, whether it's CTV, digital, out-of-home, mobile, audio, etc. And that's why we closed a partnership with a trade desk. And so our Douglas beauty audience will soon be available there. So that then the brands have, in a way, it's one of the biggest DSP, right? Have access to our data and can then activate wherever they want.
Where do you see the current stage of the industry? Is it satisfactory enough, or is there still a long to go for brands to get the measurement they deserve for the increased investment they've been making on retail media network? I think there is a lot of work to be done in this area. ROAS, obviously your glance views and, add to carts and, sort of sales and ROAS is the standard metrics you will get from any retail media network. But really, incrementality, the true, am I better off spending in one RMN versus the other? How do I know as an advertiser? So I think that's where, and that you need a lot of data.
Yes.
And you need data, which is, I would say, and again, there are shortcomings of MMM, it's lagged and it takes time. In the world of e-commerce, you need to move fast, you need to optimize your media and things like that, which is a separate part of the story. But I think we need more data collaboration from our customers. We need, I would say, yes, retail media is part of the JBP discussions but it's not a trade. It's not a trade commitment.
No.
So we look at Mondelēz that, yes, we want to definitely include in JBP, but retail media needs to stand on its own feet. And, the investment we are driving, the returns, need to, and we should be able to compare it.
Can you walk us through what do you expect to see and what reality do you expect to happen in this relationship between CPGs and the retailers?
And again, it really, I would say, we believe that the relationship needs to be both two ways, right? So, that's the reason we also do something called JVC, joint value creation.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I would say, while JBP focuses on a year, JVC is multi-year. So think of like a strat plan with the retailer.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, retailer, if you think from a retailer standpoint, what are they interested in? They want one additional item. They're not concerned about which manufacturer. They want to drive frequency, average order value, and attract new shoppers.
Right.
The fundamental laws of growth, right? Now, whether it's Mondelēz or somebody else, so how do you sort of make sure that you are a category captain, right?
Which Mondelēz is in multiple
biscuits,
categories.
chocolate, we are leaders. Bars, we are leaders in a lot of categories, in a lot of markets. And then how do you sort of work with the retailer and say, we want to grow the category with you,
Absolutely.
Right? Online, right?
What are you guys doing with AI? What capabilities are on the horizon? Is there any news that you want to share with us today?
Sure, there is a lot going on.
Of course.
We've got a team and, we are driving the AI agenda for the enterprise. I think for digital commerce, what I speak is, I think we are looking at how can AI and, homegrown AI solution, which essentially, is something which works best for us and our brands, help us build digital content at scale. So when you look at digital content, you're looking at creatives, visuals, animation, text,
of course,
on product display pages. How can that happen at scale?
Now, I want to come a little bit on the omnichannel reality, because you mentioned digital influence sales. You mentioned the tricky nature of the offline and online. And I also agree with you. We're all at a reach where Forrester predicted that we're going to reach 70% digital influence sales around 2027. We're 2 years ahead. So how do you bring those two ecosystems in reality, in real life, in terms of CPG measurement? And where is the unlock between the offline and online influence and the omnichannel share? Is there any holy grail on the horizon yet?
That's exactly the holy grail. It's what we've all been searching for, right? For years, and I know when I was brand side, I was exactly that. So I think there's multiple ways. So one of them, obviously, is working with the linking our digital shelf data to omnichannel or sales out data. So through our partnership with Circana, we are linking. We're doing exactly that for retailers where they have e-commerce data. We can then link our digital shelf data into their liquid data system, so that now you can create these great waterfall charts. So you can see exactly for the first time if I create some or run some new content, or if I increase my ratings and reviews, or if I run a sponsored search campaign, so I can see the impact on, am I getting better conversion? Am I increasing my share of page, better visibility? But ultimately, through Circana data,
right,
am I driving more sales?
Can you give us a little bit of, I learned this phrase from 𝗲𝗚, by the way, how the sausage is done. We call it what's running under the hood usually in the US. But can you give us a little bit of interesting examples how AI being deployed or utilized in Profitero world?
Yes.
Of course, this is a technological engine, but if there's any new features driven by AI, can you walk us through a little bit of what we can see?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing goes back to the very beginning. I said about surfacing the insights. It's about that get stage. So we launched what we call Ask Profitero. It's our own AI chatbot, and it is simple. Like, I know that going into Profitero, there's a lot of data there. We have huge amounts of data, and sometimes you think, where do I start? But all you want to do is, look, just tell me what is driving my sales, or what is why am I losing visibility? All these kind of things. So that's what we did. We created this AI chatbot, and now, if you're a marketer and you're just interested in, what perhaps with content, where are there opportunities, where have I got compliance issues, and where have I got opportunities to improve? you can ask that question, how to get the most out of ratings and reviews. And, you know, you might have hundreds and hundreds of reviews to go through. You can create a word cloud, yeah, you can export the data, but that all takes time and they're a bit messy. Just ask Profitero, ask a question. What are the key issues, or what are the main negative issues for my brand? What are the positive issues? Within 3 questions, within about 3 minutes, I can tell you what is the most important issue that shoppers are telling you is a problem with a brand, and I can tell you what are the main products that what are the retailers it's achieving, those are appearing, and what are the products they're appearing on. So within, say, 3 minutes, rather than having to analyze hundreds and hundreds of reviews and just get lost in the fog.
And you don't need to know SQL or Python to do that.
No, you can ask a question, tell me, yeah, so that's great. So that's one example. I've mentioned already shelf intelligent content. This is where, so we have it's bringing a culmination of various different tools. Our search optimizer, which is our AI keyword tool to optimize, giving you quantified keywords by retailer. So you can understand, I mentioned 1 in 7 keywords are common across retailers.
Right.
So understanding what is the most important list by retailer means you can prioritize those. At the same time, then we have our content KPI tool to using AI to analyze hundreds and thousands of content changes on retailers' websites and see which are the ones that move the needle. So, as I said, we can highlight the keywords. We can highlight the content, the written content that you need to include, and you just put your own. At the moment, at this stage, give it 6-12 months, it'll be a fully automated closed loop system. E-category management we're seeing fast growth this year. Now, it depends. So I'm going to throw out some stats here, and there's always, you can hide behind stats. So 50%, or just over 50% of CPGs have some dedicated resource of e-category managers.
Right.
Now, probably that's going to be in 1 or 2 priority markets, typically almost certainly US, it might be UK, it might be France, Germany, it might be China, who knows? But it's, you know, they have some. I think if you talk with the majority, they'll say, well, yes, it's only my priority market. But if you look at what leaders do, again, those fastest growing, the ones that 75% of them will have a dedicated resource. Again, probably still in their largest markets, but they're using that information to drive retailer influence. And again, in a crowded market, in a tough times, that's what's really giving them the point of difference.
And it can make the needle move.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's what matters in the early stages.
Because I think the danger is, I have a lot of conversations, what is e-category management? There's a danger that it's too brand-centric, that when I talk to retailer, I'm talking about my share of search, my content, but you just apply the same category management principles as you do in store. You know, it's all focus on the shopper first, focus on how they're searching, focus on what they're looking for, be it education, validation, and use those conversations to then drive your search and content topics. So it's just a simple mind shift, but I think e-category management will be the key for 2025.
Excited to meet us at industry events next year? Scan the QR code to view the full event calendar kit.